And we're live! You guys are already ready to go. I'm excited. Yes. Fabulous. We're going to get into this soon when people start joining the broadcast. There's lots to talk about. I don't think I've covered macros yet. And we've got 2 people in the chat. Now we've got 3. Yes. So I'm really excited. Today's darn good day. From Alaska. I'll have to go there one day. Hey everyone. But next month, I'm going to Iceland. Yes. Okay. I will open up the next group consultation in 1 week. So it is, what is it? It is August 15th. And let's hope that this stream is not pixelated. Hi, Sandy from Florida. Hey, Izzy. And Haley and, what is it? Rafaela from Arizona. Hey, everyone. So you guys are joining the broadcast. I'm very excited. Don't forget me to give some thumb love. I see some people have already given me some thumbs up love. What's up? Erica, oh, she's in Australia. This is good stuff. Because we need to go over some macros, okay? Thank you, Caesar. And Terry, hey. You're finally catching me live. Yes, Patrick, yes. Hey, Christopher from Texas. You follow my ketogenic recipes. There'll be new ones. Because you have to update those things all the time. Energy! Got some energy. You guys know I got energy. It's like 5:35-ish or around there, and I've got energy. What's up, everyone? Keto life in the ATL. What? We got Aloha from Hawaii. You guys are coming in fast. Hey, everyone. Camilla. And Gerardo and Twyla. Okay, guys. We're going to talk about some macros, yeah? A lot of confusion going on, and I've mentioned them in other broadcasts. You're heading to, oh, what's up, Melly Mel? She on the road. What's up, sister? Because I had a little Melly Mel conversation earlier this morning. So interesting, we have a consultation with people, and then you kind of make a connection, and Melly Mel's in the chat, so I'm really excited about that. Roll Tide. Hey! You don't want to marry me. To keto. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I thought we should go over some macros. Kind of like really dig into what the dealio is. You were wondering if you were ever going to catch me live, and you did, William. Here I am. About my vegetarian plan. Awesome. So that's where we can kind of go over those things. So I'm going to talk about macros, and then when I'm done, you guys can have questions. Not as much as you. Okay, all right. All right, Melly Mel. The coffee and butter diet, yes, you can repair any damage. Everything can be, to some degree, repaired unless you're dead in a coffin. I'm just saying. You're strictly organic. What? Oh, what are you? It is late up in Europe. I know I need to do earlier streams for my worldwide audience, but yeah. Okay, so let's talk some macros, guys. Because people on the replay are like, can you get to the point, please? I gotta go to work. Okay. Oh, from Paris. All right. You know I can't speak French, but I can speak Swedish. Jag pratar lite svenska. From a mall? Macros, yes. Okay, here we go. So I've mentioned these macros in other live broadcasts, and it's kind of redundant. 100% low. Oh, thank you. I've mentioned a lot about macros. What do I do for work? I'm working right now. Somebody is behind the times, right? Somebody's asking me what I do for work. Work in an office. I'm kidding. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to break this down, guys. All right. I'm going to talk about macros, food, the amounts, what kind of food, why, this, that, and a third. The internet is confusing us. Would you say not? Very, very much confusing. And a lot of people don't do videos about the confusion because, well, to be honest, I think they're confused. So we've got this 85, 15, 10 rule of thumb, but that's subjective, right? Because what if you did 80% fat, 15% protein, what's up from Jersey, and 5% carbohydrate from 1,000 calories, right? Because we're getting the 80, 15, 5 from the caloric intake count. So I don't really like going there. We'll go into fasting versus starvation in a minute, in a minuet. Yes, the internet is very misleading, and keto is getting very popular, but nobody seems to know what it really is. Everyone seems to be very confused. Okay, so we got 80, 15, 5. Well, you know, if you're looking at a plate of food, you want 80% fat, but then that's subjective, right? Because fat is 9 calories versus the 4. So we want to look about the density of the food and all the mechanisms that you need to break down food and use it, because yesterday I was explaining to this guy calories don't matter. So I will go into that also in this macro live broadcast. But really it's about grams. You want to count the grams. Now for the rest of the world, they get very confused with the US audience because we count grams in the total amount of, let's say, protein, for example. Whereas the rest of Europe or other parts of the world, they'll use grams in weight and in the total grams of a macro, a fat, a protein, or carbohydrate. So sometimes they get confused. We don't, because we use ounces and whatnot. I'm not taking any questions right now. Camilla, I'm going to do my little rant about macros, and then I'll take questions. Otherwise, for the audience who cannot see the questions, they think that I am losing my mind. They're like, you don't stick on a point. Well, that's because people are constantly asking questions through this explanation of macros. So, here we go. Like right now, somebody's asking about, you know, honey and all this kind of stuff, and that's not what I'm talking about. So, let's do a breakdown of how this looks. So, you want about 200 grams of fat, right? You actually want between 200 to 300 grams of fat. Now, there is no calculator, you guys. There's no MyFitnessPal. There's no Calorie King. There's none of these things that can be indicative of your personal DNA. All of our DNA works at different paces, or a different pace or different speed. So when people are going, oh my God, do I have to eat 200 grams of fat? I'm only 5'1". I'm just using a general number. I think I'm gonna have to turn off the chat, you guys, because I'm starting to read and it's messing me up. So right now, let me see, I'm going to turn off the chat. Okay. So you guys, what I did right now is I turned off the chat so I can no longer see your comments or questions. So when people watch the replay, I don't sound like a freaking babbling idiot that doesn't get to a point. So basically you want your macros around 80%, and the baseline start is at 200. Now at 80%, the fat's really going to be at like 240, 260, I'm not going to lie. But I use 200 as a baseline just to make sure that people get their fats up high enough. With all the coaching I've done, you guys know that I do a lot of keto coaching or consulting. People were not adapting on 130, 40, 50, even 170 grams of fat. This is where I get these numbers from. It's from you guys. And it's proof positive because most of the people that I work with use a dual glucometer. You can't lie about these numbers, people. If you have high blood sugar, it's going to be reflective in the numbers. And if your ketones are crap, it's going to be reflective, especially if the ketones are pretty close to what's actually happening to you physically. But I digress. So we want to start at 200 grams of fat no matter how tall you are. I don't care. We want to overshoot the amount of fat as to ensure ketone production. You actually have to essentially get the brain to stop wanting carbohydrates. It is glucose dependent. Listen to me, guys. It's very much glucose dependent, the brain, because we grow up on processed carbs. So to induce, right, that ketone production, you have to eat a lot of fat, which is going to create enzymes to help break down the fat and convert it into ketone bodies that can get into the blood and into the cells and into the Krebs cycle and into the brain. It must start with dietary fat. And it's really weird because a lot of people do keto because they want to lose weight. And in their mind, they're like, does not compute. In calories, fat has more calories than in carbohydrates. So I'm not going to lose weight if I eat a lot of fat. Nobody's actually talking about how the pancreas works and blood sugar. People who've got this idea of calories in, calories out. Nobody's talking about thyroid damage, right? So if you've got thyroid damage and, sorry, I'm getting stupid notifications on my phone, which I should mute it, which I can't now because it'll mess up the broadcast. But if you have a broken metabolism like hypothyroidism or hyper or reactive hypoglycemia, or if you have physiological insulin resistance, if you have any of these things that messes with your blood sugar or polycystic ovarian syndrome or adrenal issues, you can't count calories. I've got people weighing over, I got women weighing over 200 pounds. They can't lose a drop of weight because the metabolism is locked up. A lot of these women have thyroid problems. The thyroid regulates things happening in your body, regulates your metabolism and temperature and anything that's keeping the machine in balance. All the activity in the body is regulated by the thyroid. And so when you're overexerting energy, the thyroid hormone begins to either the thyroid stimulating hormone, sorry, I'm getting like brain locked, is going to get too high, or your T3 production, your T3 is going to be too low. So with that said, we have to eat a lot of fat, guys. To encourage ketogenesis, you must eat a lot of fat. So when you hear these other broadcasters saying, well, you won't lose weight if you eat a lot of fat, that's not keto. They're using keto as clickbait, right? And baiting you to buy their philosophy. Because keto is not about weight loss. Keto is about getting your body to use ketones. It doesn't care that we want to look aesthetic. Our bodies don't give a crap. They just want to survive. So you eat a lot of fat. The problem, there is no cap to fat, because I'm talking about macros now. There's no cap to the amount of fat because it takes so much equipment for your body to break down fat that you will hit no more, I can't eat anymore. People have this kind of like thinking they could just keep eating and there's no cap to the amount of fat that your body will allow you to digest, but there is, because you need digestive enzymes and peptides and gallbladder to break down the fat. And if those things aren't working, you're not even going to be able to eat all that fat, even the 200 grams of fat. That's why I like to break apart keto and not just go, all right, let's get out our calculators, let's calculate how tall you are, and let's make a decision based on arbitrary numbers to get you to adapt. And then I'm going to create a meal plan that fits everybody, and you're just going to lose weight. And these type of people don't factor in your prior metabolic damage. So I want to really put that out there. Now, the kinds of fats that you want to eat is primarily animal fats. In the beginning, I didn't care. I didn't care if it was seed oil or, olive oil or avocados or coconut oil or butter. It just didn't matter. I didn't factor in people who had histamine issues. I didn't even factor in the fatty acid profile of meat fats versus plant fats at all. So in the beginning of my consulting, people weren't really adapting, and I didn't know what to say because I didn't understand. With my coaching of almost 3,000 people, I noticed that people adapt better on animal fats. Now, people tend to do well on butter if they don't have any sensitivity to the small amounts of whey and casein in the butter. That's why butter and no cream, because butter has the least amount of the proteins in it. It's mostly fat. I see people do the best on lard, but we've got a whole planet afraid to eat pork fat. So they can eat a cow that's injected with hormones and that's eating corn in small little boxes, dying, but we're afraid to eat pastured pork, and it makes no sense. And in actuality, pigs, pork, have the closest fatty acid profile to human out of all these fatty meats that we consume than any of the other fatty meats. So it has the right mono, saturates, and poly to a human. So with that said, people's ketones rise with lard. But people don't like lard. But they have all this metabolic damage. I'm like, who cares what you don't like? You want to heal this body? Open your mind up. Boop! Okay. Lard is the best. And people who've got histamine issues do best on lard. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps they're not the allergens coming from the egg yolk or from the protein in dairy. I don't know. But people do less. They don't do as well on pastured cows, grass-fed, or chicken fat, or goose fat, which I think is higher in omega-6. They do well on lard, and very well. So open your minds up, people. Pastured lard. Okay, with that said, animal fat should be consumed. I used to say 50-50 because I'd be happy if people just ate more animal fat, but I'm kind of changing that. I would say that in the percentages of animal fat that you should eat a day in comparison to plant fats, it should probably be around 70% animal fat and 30% made up of plant fats like coconut oil or olive oil or avocados or avocado oil, whatever. Okay, fat. Protein. Let's hit this. We got 104 people in the chat. So you guys, there's only 38 people who've given me some thumb love. If you like what I'm doing, you want me to do more broadcasts, please, if you could give me some thumb love, that helps me with the viewership. So yes, I see the numbers going up, so thanks. Okay, so with the protein, let's talk about the protein. Oh, and let me say about the fat. You must eat fat to encourage ketone production in the very beginning. So it's not about weight loss at all. We need to regulate your blood sugar as to stop getting your body to want to restore glycogen. When you do a ketogenic protocol, you deplete your glycogen storage in your muscle. That leaves liver glycogen and glucose and blood glucose. And that's problematic because you can't survive on that. So we want to get ketone production created quick. Because if you don't, doing keto without adapting is going to create a host of health problems. And I'm not lying. And I mean a host of them. So that's why we start at 200 grams of fat. And no, you're not going to lose weight on it unless you're obese. Because if you're obese, then a lot of things are going to happen. Most likely typically you're going to run with high blood sugar. And so instantly your glucose drops, your insulin drops, and those people tend to see big noticeable numbers on the scale. But if you're 5, 10, 40, even 60 pounds overweight, you may not see any weight loss when you first try ketogenic protocol, because keto is not about weight loss in the beginning. It's about adapting. And other keto gurus out there don't talk about adapting. They just talk about the diet like it's some separate entity. It's not. You must use those ketones to receive any type of health benefit. Once you're healthy, then we can go into the next phases of fat loss. All right, so the protein. This is a big one, guys. And listen up well. People out there say that the protein doesn't matter. But see, I've coached almost 3,000 people, and no one can argue with me that data. No one. No one. Because I have the data. I've got so many notebooks at this juncture of doing keto. I've got about 100 of these things with data proving with glucometer and how people feel that if your protein is too high, ketone production becomes unviable. So if you want to lose weight, just go starve yourself. It doesn't matter if you're losing like muscle or hormone production, just lose weight. But if you want to keto adapt, you cannot have your protein too high. Now I try to explain this to people. In the wild, we didn't eat a lot of lean meat. We didn't. Only if we were starving did we go and eat the entire animal. But if we weren't starving and there was plenty of animal food to go around, we ate the organ meats. The brain, the eyes, the tongue, the intestine, the digestive system, the liver, the kidneys. These things are packed with fat-soluble vitamins and things like CLAs or arachidonic acid. Like all of these types of fatty acids and vitamins and nutrients that will help glutathione production and help fix cells. In chicken breast, you don't have that. You don't have those nutrients in chicken breast. And nobody thinks in that way. They just think, oh, it's lean and fat makes you fat. But then when I ask people how fat makes you fat, they have no answer. How does fat make you fat? Can anybody explain how fat makes you fat scientifically? It's about your blood sugar and insulin production. That's what it's about. We need to talk about that. So when you eat too much protein, the body cannot chew, have digestive enzymes in the saliva, in the stomach acid, caloric acids, the peptides and enzymes to break down all of this protein, and then you have to have the pancreas work perfectly, like symphony, to have the insulin be resistant. So you don't need a lot of insulin. You just need high functioning insulin to then take those amino acids from lean meat and get them into the muscle cell to grow, or cells that need protein in the entire body. So the problem is that we're taught that you need all this protein, but nobody knows why. You need to eat a lot of protein to grow muscle when your pancreas doesn't work. So if you're insulin resistant, then you're barfing out bolus amounts of insulin and it doesn't do its job. So what you want to do is just, crap in the dark, throw something and hope it lands. Like, okay, well, I'll just eat a lot of carbs that will release a lot of insulin, and I'll eat a lot of protein, and let's just hope that we get some of that into the muscle so it will grow. But when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, you're spiking your blood sugar at dangerous levels. And insulin stacks up in the bloodstream when your insulin gets too high and it's not working, and it can damage cells. It stacks. Your body doesn't clear it out very well. So this is the problem with eating too much protein. You have to eat it, you have to digest it, and then these systems have to work to have muscles grow. Because what you cannot eat and digest right now must be converted into something to spare the body. So the body will take the protein that it cannot use that quickly, because you keep stuffing your mouth with protein to feel full and satiated, right? So you eat all this protein, and then the body's like, I can't use it all, so I'm going to convert it back into sugar because I need that, especially on keto, right? I'm not going to adapt because you're not putting me in a balance to adapt. So I'm going to take that protein, convert it into sugar, which it's called gluconeogenesis, and then use it. I won't restore glycogen storages with excess dietary protein, but I can use it. I can use it as some type of substrate to survive. That's not optimal. So what you want to do, the reason why Steve Phinney and Jeff Volek say moderate to low protein is because once you become insulin sensitive, that means your body goes bink with a little bit of insulin, and it does a big ass job. It knows what to do. So now that it's powerful in small amounts, then you don't need all that protein because you're not shooting in the dark anymore. So now you have less protein, but you are also the other side. There's two camps. There's the fact that your pancreas is working amazing, right? And then there's the fact that when you go throughout your day as being ketotic, you're less catabolic. Well, catabolism often is the breakdown of the body. And when your brain doesn't get enough fuel, check this out. When your brain doesn't get enough fuel, it will break down the amino acids. I always say this, the turkey gobbler, those people that have those fallen necks, women are like, my triceps are so floppy. Men, I've got that flank fat, I can't get rid of it. Men whose legs are so skinny and women have got a lot of cellulite, welcome to the world of too high blood sugar, too high insulin, and the inability to be able to get the amino acids into the cell and not be catabolic through an entire day. Because when you don't eat, when you intermittent fast, you're breaking down proteins, honey. your body's going into this catabolic effect because it's like, I don't care what you're doing. I need gasoline because you need to go to work and you need to take the kids to, friggin' tennis camp or whatever. And I need energy and I don't know how to use ketones yet. So therein lies the problem with too much protein. Now I'm almost done, guys, and I'm going to turn back on the chat. So there's the fact that you're always breaking down protein, right? Every day. Every day. People go, I'm at the gym, they're doing fasted cardio. They look like shite. They don't look healthy. They don't look ripped. No. And I don't know how many fitness competitors I see bulk up, get super fat, and then they try to lean out, especially when they're natural. They look sick. They look like concentration camp victims. Yo, they don't look well. They look horrible. And what happens to the women post friggin' fitness competitions? They blow the frack up. Estrogen, hormone, menstrual cycle gone. I'm estrogen dominant. I'm going to get fat real fast. Boom. And I still have a fracked up pancreas and I'm still catabolic. So that's why I'm trying to explain to you guys that your protein must be low to moderate. Because once you become an efficient ketotic machine, you don't need all that freaking dietary protein that you're shoving down your mouth and giving you kidney stones. Yes? And uric acid and gout and all this crap from eating too much methionine and too much uric acid and purines and meats because your body can't utilize it and you got a damaged metabolism to start off the getty. So with that said, less protein. So for men, you guys, I've said this a million times. For men, and when I say this, they about have a heart attack. I'm like, you need to get your protein under 100. They're like, what? I normally have like 180 and 200 grams of protein. So many men are like afraid to go down in protein, but they're not using all the damn protein they're eating because you know what? They're drinking protein powder. Man manipulated garbage. Now you're going to take something out of nature, right? When I say when you go against the balance of nature, it'll frack you up. Because you can go and take, protein and hydrolyze it and make it a powdered form. You don't have to digest it. It goes right into your bloodstream. And the body, the primal body's like, what are you doing? For real. Like, you want to look aesthetic? Don't do this to me. Don't do this. Okay, carbohydrates. I'm going to talk about that. Turn on the chat. Carbohydrates can be taken, and I'm going to bring out my cup here. So, 1 cup, you guys. This here is 1 cup. So for you European people, that's a cup. You can have up to 3 of these, this much, of cruciferous vegetables, which are fibrous vegetables. I am not talking about squash, nor am I talking about bell pepper or paprika, nor am I talking about ketchup or chewing gum or xylitol. No, I'm talking about cruciferous vegetables measured raw, not packed down. We're talking loose. So that, as you can see, the 1 cup, that's 1 cup, and that's about a handful, not packed, but loose. That you can have on keto, up to 3 handfuls or cups of cruciferous vegetables per main meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Your snacks should not be vegetables. It should be fat because we need to encourage fat, and you guys are always complaining about not knowing how to get more fat in. So I encourage people to snack on fatty meats, not like to eat. So the hypoglycemia and the eating protein is a whole nother subject because that's just about a tablespoon worth, 1 bite of protein, 2 bites of fat to stabilize your blood sugar for hypoglycemics. For people who snack, it's pure fat and not protein. Okay, so cruciferous vegetables, you can have up to 3, but people have about 2 cups worth or 2 handfuls measured raw. Meat should be measured cooked. And your body can only handle this much carbohydrate safely. And that's why we keep our carbs under 20 net carbs from cruciferous vegetables. And I'm not talking ketchup or anything else that can be converted into sugar. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn back on the chat and see what you guys got to say. Here we go. Turn on the chat. All right, chat's back on. Yes, I'm keeping it real AF. Okay? Exogenous ketones are the biggest embarrassment of the modern society. the biggest preying upon people's insecurities to be thin. It's an embarrassment. Take those exogenous ketones and keto OS and have a seance and burn those mother suckers. You've done keto for a while. One of the dangers of keto is too low electrolytes. So if you've chronic headaches, you're not getting enough of your electrolytes in, including the water. Intermittent fasting is death. Okay? You want to hurt your body? Intermittent fast. But if you want to help your body, don't ever intermittent fast. Dr. Fung has really got you guys brainwashed. Really brainwashed. Really like to see Dr. Fung in a workout top, right? I'd like to see that. Let me turn this light down. Let's see Dr. Fung in a workout top, right? That would be amazing. That light's so weird. Let's see what he's working with, right? Superfoods, in fact, commercialized nonsense. Yes, wow. How much fat would you suggest to maintain ketosis? I said 200. 200? Thank you, Paula. I appreciate it. How much potassium? Now they say they don't really know. It's between 3,000 milligrams and 4,700 to maintain your potassium balance. But, you got to make sure you don't have leaky gut. If you have leaky gut, you can lose potassium very easily. If you're not drinking enough water and managing your sodium magnesium, the potassium sodium balance can be off. Pecans or no. Only macadamia nuts, and even those are suspect. Bulletproof coffee is just a very smart way to hurt your body. Remember, you guys, when you don't eat, you destroy your adrenals, because we don't live outside anymore. If we lived outside, we would rest, and we don't rest anymore. So because our body, your guys is not mine. I've been doing keto almost 10 years. My body's ketotic. But if you are trying to fast, where the brain's like, where the gasoline for the car? Where the gasoline? You think you're going to go and burn fat? Honey, I've been working with people like 5 years, no, more than 5, because I used to train people and work with 8 people, subjects. I've been doing this thing for like 7, 8 years. Bulletproof coffee fracks you up. I've got 116 people in the chat. What up? New people coming in. They come in and then they go. Okay, what fats to snack on? So that'd be fatty teas or fat with bone broth. Cooked less time, so you could do a 7-hour bone broth, which is going to have less protein. Almond butter is garbage. No, not even in small amounts. We're talking phytates beyond measure, and mold, and too many carbs. Get rid of it. No nuts. Y'all know that you got food addictions. You're going to sit there, you can't stop eating. Once you pop, you can't stop. Get rid of the nuts. Yeah, Kari, nobody's body can handle like the mold. Hemp seeds are like, They're like, the little lectins, but yes, I will approve it. Sort of, quasi, kind of. There's liver tongue. Yeah, liver tongue all day. All day. Constipation typically is from candida, overgrowth, or thyroid. So you need to figure out which one. Raw milk is garbage. Get rid of it. There's good properties in raw milk, but there's too many bad properties that counteract the good ones. Get rid of raw milk. It's not ketotic anyway, it's too much sugar. Can you do keto? And keto is anti-inflammatory, so go ahead with that. Steve Finney, who's advocating moderate protein intake, that's true. But moderate protein for some, like myself, who's 6'4", in the estimation 100, you're wrong. Sorry. You're wrong. Because I tested a guy who's 6'3", built like King Kong. He couldn't adapt unless his protein went under 100. You're wrong. You don't know. I know. Not to sound like an asshole. But I've coached people your height and at your fitness level, and you won't adapt with protein over 100, no matter how tall you are. It is all about the pancreatic efficiency and to be less catabolic. And you can't argue that. It's impossible to argue that. You can say that you're a big guy, but unless you go test yourself with a glucometer, doesn't matter. Roasted almond butter is even worse than raw. Yes, you can lower the fat once you're adapted, Dawn, but nobody's patient enough to adapt. People just want weight loss right away. Eggs can be, no goat milk. Eggs can be allergenic, the whites of the egg and even some of the egg protein in the yolk. And if you got leaky gut, don't do eggs. I do eggs, but I don't eat them all the time. I like to rotate now. I'm a big advocate of rotating the foods as to protect the gut lining. It is very possible to eat too much liver, because believe it or not, liver has a lot of carbohydrates, and it'll pop you out of ketosis like this. Pop! Kind of tea, anything that's an herbal tea, and be very mindful of tea bags because they have a lot of mold on them, and y'all got candida. All y'all got candida. You got candida, I know, because whenever time I go into the bathroom, I'm like, candida, candida. Y'all got some candida. Cream cheese is death. Like, yo, get off the cheese. It's like dopamine. It's like addictive, yo. Get rid of it. Shit's got casein. Sorry to swear, but that shit's got casein in it. Get off the cheese. How much fat in pork brains? Pork rinds? Sorry, I don't get that one. Sauerkraut. I get the same questions all the time. Guys, watch the videos, because to the rest of you, I sound like a broken record. Sauerkraut, right? Fermented cabbage. You have to sit in a dark room for a couple weeks and let it grow bacteria on it. Now, that bacteria, if you got small intestinal overgrowth, that bacteria will make the bad bacteria explode in your gut and develop super bad histamine problems. So you just got to start off with a couple teaspoons. I'm really silly right now. You guys take me with a grain of salt. I don't know what Jimmy Moore is doing. I haven't seen or watched a thing that he's done probably in about 7 months, 8 months, longer, maybe a year. You guys know I've been touring. And I just stopped looking at what other people are doing. I look at what Steve Finney is doing, Nora, some other of them, but no. Oh, pig brains you meant. Oh, chitlins. Yes. 70 grams of protein for 6'1". Yeah, you can. I had a guy, he was eating 75 grams of protein at 6'3". Now, you guys aren't exactly the same, but there's a lot of similarities. No, you can have liver. Someone said if you just eat a lot of liver. Yeah, of course you can have liver. Just be very, very careful as to overcook it. Primal body, primal mind. Yes, it's a good start on to understanding how the body works. It's not very like a keto book, but it really explains to you how our bodies were designed to survive outside. Your glucose is over 110 because you're doing things wrong, I guarantee. Beer? No beer. That's a simple answer. Mineral drops. I really think the first thing you should try to do is get your minerals from food, and secondary, unless it's like magnesium, because our soils are so depleted. Wait, let me see here. Could an incorrect fat amount cause swollen glands? No, something else is the problem. It's not the fat. Suggestions for vegetarians on keto. I hope that you eat butter and eggs and fish, but be careful for that. I would eat egg yolks as a vegetarian, not the whites. Is 85, 90 glucose, 2.5 ketones. Okay, no, you must be under 80. Between 69 to 80 milligrams per deciliter, you're not in ketosis, and you're losing ketones at 2.5. I didn't say no eggs. I said be careful with eggs, by the way. Difference between ketosis and keto adapted. Ketosis, these are stupid. I can't stand all these words. It just means that you're producing some ketones. But even though you produce ketones, doesn't mean that you're using them. When you're keto adapted, it means you're using the mother suckers. That's the layman's term on it. When you adapt, that's it. You anti-age, you protect your DNA. You've got energy, your sleep is amazing, your hormones balance, you get rid of the freaking cellulite and the flank fat and the polycystic and the hypothyroidism and the lupus and the cancer and all this stuff. You're always tired and moody on when you try to keto because you're doing it wrong. Period. You're doing it wrong. That's why I'm here doing these live broadcasts. Best time to drink lemon water is warm in the morning, so it can enter the liver, and the plant pectins will help pull out the estrogen and all the junk in the liver. Sore throat, something wrong with your immune system. You're doing keto wrong. When you don't adapt, your immune system drops. They said 48 fasting is good for health problems. Well, they're wrong, Spiros, because they're not considering people who've got adrenal issues, and you can make your body worse. Everything's contextual. But they don't put things in context, do they? Did they say what you should do if you are hypoglycemic, which a lot of you guys are? What if you have hypoglycemia? You're not going to eat? Come on now. Nope. No raw cacao, only cacao butter, because that doesn't have the caffeine or the mycotoxins. What about ATP production? That's arbitrary. Does ketone get to create ATP? Yes. Ketones are units of fat, ATP. You only take ox bile, you had your gallbladder removed. I would go and read on how to take ox bile because I've never taken it myself. Energy! Stevia is okay as long as it doesn't have any alcohol or anything, or if you don't have a histamine response to it, which most of you don't. So stevia is the only sweetener that I approve of. You don't need slow sugars. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no slow sugars in the wild. I'm sorry. No. There's no, what is it? Freaking starch that they have that's slower digesting. MACROS is 60% fat is wrong. It's 80% fat or you want to adapt, period. 30% protein's too high. You've been looking at the internet. You've been listening to all that crap. There's people who don't know what they're talking about, who don't coach thousands of people, who don't use a glucometer. What? Boom! How you like me now? All right, here we go. I'm just really silly, you guys. I'm really hyper today. Apple cider vinegar can help SIBO, but most people, it kind of makes the SIBO worse. Not going to lie. How much will blood sugar increase? What? Increase with histamine response? Oh, everybody's different. That I can't answer that. You'd have to use a glucometer and test it yourself. You're not losing weight. Okay, keto's not, but what about weight loss? I'm not losing weight, too much fat. Wait, hold on. There's that question. Sorry, I'm like burping on camera for real stuff. Come on. I think you are too difficult to live with. Patrick, go somewhere else. Okay, well, let's see here. That's a dumb thing to say. That's a lot of insecurity. I'm doing a broadcast with like 153 people shooting at me thousands of questions. Of course, I'm going to come across as, I'm like, when you're trying to answer a lot of questions and they're repetitive questions at that, I mean, a lot of them are repetitive. Of course, I'm going to look like I'm crazy. What does 100 grams of protein look like? 100 grams in weight or total protein? So 100 grams for that, it's really lower than 100 grams. It should be about 85, which is about, for a guy, it's about a palm full of protein per meal. That'll put you around 75 to 80 grams protein. Skinny, diabetic, type 2, how do you start macros? Replay the video because I really explain it and break it down. Believe you said cortisol helps us wake up. If you're keto adapted, can you have small cup of green tea in the morning only no green, no caffeine. That's not normal in nature. To suck on caffeine every day. Nope. You guys, look, we're all messed up. Nobody is immune to the destructions of modern society's toxins. If you guys want to have optimal health, if you want to anti-age, if you want to be strong, if you want to get lean, you can't do it half-ass. It's all or nothing. No caffeine, period, point, period. Yes, William. Sugarless, what? Sugarless gum. No gum, right? That's not normal in nature. Everything that's not normal in nature has a problem because your body thinks that you're about to eat and then you don't. No. Blue Lake Collagen. Never heard of it, so you have to tell me later. Think about rooibos herbal tea, no tea bags. Great. Rooibos from South Africa. Love it. 200 to 300 grams of fat, 100 or less grams of protein, 25 less grams of carbs. Carl, that's a little too much. I would literally say between 60 and 85 for a man. Women can't even go that high. They won't adapt. Your fat should be between, 2 to 300, and your protein per meal should be around 20 to 25 grams of protein per meal. Okay, you guys are going fast. If I had a mirror, I want to have a mirror. I want to show you a mirror and let people see how many shotgun questions are coming in. I mean, I'm not doing a broadcast, singing a song. People are asking very complex questions and they're coming in by the hundreds. So, Oreos, if you want to die. You can have fat bombs as long as they're just made with no goat milk. Fat bombs made with coconut oil and butter, yes. And no raw cacao butter. No raw cacao, no chocolate, but cacao butter, the white chocolate. You see, we can see it's on the side. But people who watch the replay, they can't see. So they just hear a sarcastic person, who's acting sanctimonious. They don't see the shotgun questions I'm getting. They just see my reaction. No, you can't have coconut butter. No, it spikes most people's blood sugar. When you're fully keto adapted and you can balance your blood sugar, great GLUT4 receptor development, you probably can have coconut butter. I can have it, but I don't even have it that much anymore. Because I told you, fermented apples, they have bacteria. Bacteria meets another bacteria and the body explodes because the gut wall is compromised. You have holes in the gut wall, and so the body's in this immune hyper-inflammatory state, and your immune system is whack and the bacteria can't balance. And when you add that type of bacteria, right, strains of bacteria to an imbalance of the gut of the bad bacteria and good bacteria, and there's no balance, sometimes it just explodes the bad bacteria in layman's terms, if I explain it that way. Ketosis, being fully keto adapted, yes. If you take the measures, okay, to keto adapt the correct way, your SIBO will get healed in a year. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. Not really a big difference between lemon and lime, no. But when it comes to pectins for the liver, no. I don't know the best times to take super enzymes. I couldn't tell you that. I think you got to Google it. A UTI keeps happening. Are you drinking enough water? I don't know what diet you're on. I don't know what kind of sleep you're having. I mean, the UTI is the bacteria up in there. We don't drink enough water. That's a big one right there. If you have one UTI, it keeps coming back. So the sleep, the type of your immune function, all matters on your UTIs coming back. 7 months strict on keto. I feel adapted. However, I'm not losing weight. Too much fat. I don't know if you're adapted. You say that you're adapted. I don't know if you're adapted. You didn't tell me what your blood sugar and ketones were. Tell me that. Give me 6 weeks solid of your numbers all day long. I mean, the ketones in the morning and blood sugar measure, and your lifestyle, and see what time you go to bed, right? Because if you don't sleep, you're not going to lose body fat. Why would the body sit and be at a deficit? No, your whole life has to change. Your exercise has to change. The way you think has to change. Your cortisol levels have to change. You have to make sure that you're not running on adrenaline, but you're actually using ketones. Facebook page through my website. It's a keto course page, and you go to stephanieperson.com. You cannot sign up for the page on Facebook. It must be on the website. Yes, give you all that. What can you eat other than eggs and bacon for breakfast? Any fatty meat, okay? You want to eat a brain? You can eat a brain. You want to eat a tongue? Or you want to have chicken thighs or salmon or sardines or grass-fed beef? You can eat anything. Yes, you can sleep too much, because when you sleep too much, you're not actually sleeping. People can sleep 13, 14 hours. They don't get into deep REM state sleep. So the body's like, I need to hit REM. I'm so tired. So you just sleep forever, but you're not actually sleeping because you're only at the third or fourth level or third level of sleep. Guy losing muscle, lower legs, and just can't build 6'4", 60, 70 grams of protein per day, and protein intake is too low. Sleep. No, it's not your macros why you keep. The reason why you lose leg muscle is because A, you're not adapting, B, your adrenals are overfiring, right? And that gluconeogenesis is eating up your legs. People don't listen to me when they just talk about numbers. Oh, let's do a mathematical equation to have a great body, spit out a great body. If you don't sleep well and you're a stress monger, you are constantly going to be munching on them legs. You're going to have little stick legs. That's it. Yes, spirulina, apple cider vinegar. I just said, if you don't have a gut dysbiosis. From Bragg, the company Bragg. For the new people who joined the chat, if you like what I'm doing, you want me to keep doing more live broadcasts, like up the stream, and that would be awesome. For the people who just joined in, it'd be awesome if you give me some thumb love. And what do I think about ginger root? Great. Fabulous. Water, some pink Himalayan salt, magnesium lotion at night might help with the headaches. Yes, no, it doesn't might help with the headaches. If they're not migraines, then it will help with the headaches. So you do about 8-ounce glass of water with about a teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Coconut cream, not DJ. Most people aren't adapting on the coconut stuff. You gotta, no maca, nope. You don't really adapt on coconut cream. You have to adapt first, and then you can add it back in. It's not about how many days you can eat. Well, let's say 4 days. Let's say 4 days of eggs, and then rotate it out for 4 days, and add it back in for 4 days and take it out. What's it about? Bay, Chris, it's stephanieperson.com. And if somebody wants to write out my website, you can write it out, Stephanie Person, as in a person. No S at the end, no Pearson, no, just like Stephanie Human Being, stephanieperson.com. Ghee is clarified butter, which means it's been cooked. Some people say that the more processing of the butter is unhealthy, and some say the more processing of the butter gets out more of like the impurities and proteins. Some people do better on ghee than on butter, and you just have to experiment. And Kerrygold is not the best butter. It's just what we can get easily in the States, right? It's partially grass-fed. You rotate eggs because eggs are high allergenic. The whites are to protect the baby. And so when we eat too many eggs, we develop egg allergies. So to not have a buildup of histamines or the protein effect with the egg whites, you rotate them in and out of your diet as to not develop no sesame seeds. Sesame seeds, lectins, flax seeds tend to just come out of your poop. I don't see too many histamine problems with flax seeds, almost none. Most people can handle flax, they can't handle sesame. Let me see. Fastest way to keto adapt. Oh my God. Go watch my YouTube channel. Fastest ways to get to bed by 10, to have your fat over 200, to not have your protein too high, to diaphragmatic breathe, to use magnesium, to deal with stress, to protect your adrenals. I mean, no cocoa powder. No cocoa powder, none. Well, I don't care. People say to be careful on you don't have to watch my channel. And people say, what does that mean? You heard it once. People who don't, I am the most strict keto person. So people don't like what I say because I'm brutally honest. I don't mince my words. I'm not diplomatic. I have honesty Tourette's. And I tell people to not eat cheese. And so if Stephanie keeps saying, don't eat cheese, nuts, and caffeine, and everybody is doing it, of course, the people that are promoting nuts and cheese and caffeine are going to say, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Even though she's got awesome science to back it up, don't listen to her. Don't listen to the phytic acid and the mycotoxins and the effect on the adrenals. I mean, I've got stuff to back it up. That's why people say, don't listen to me. But who cares? They don't have to. Bonjour. There's no good fatty shake. You shouldn't be drinking shakes. You should eat your food. No whipped cream. Yes. Yes. Well, there's not as much casein in cream than there is in cheese, but I see people not adapt on cream. That's why I stopped having people use cream in the consultations. Hey, Joe. Heard a lot about the GHG increases a lot during fasting. Joe, this can't happen when you have adrenal problems. It can't. This is for people who've got balanced metabolism. Your growth hormone will not increase if the cortisol is too high from fasting. That's a fact. Your body initiates gluconeogenesis because if the brain doesn't get some type of fuel, you'll die. So you're either going to burn fat or you're going to burn carbs. And if you're not using the fat, your body's going to break down muscles and carbs. Exactly. Cortisol, high cortisol, adrenals barfing out a hormone in excess that's too inflammatory will lower your growth hormone. I mean, it's simple math, right? If you've got hypothyroidism, if you've got low testosterone, if you have adrenal fatigue, you're not, or hypoglycemia, you're not going to have any growth hormone effect fasting. Not going to happen. Not. Oh my goodness. Yes, you have to cut your workouts down. What's up, Richard? Yeah, you have to. See, Richard can tell you. Richard's a man that I've worked with. He can tell you what happens if he fasts or trains too hard. He'll tell you. You want to listen to a man's perspective? Because when you, look, fasting is hard on the adrenal glands because if you're not keto adapted, that means you're not using fat to feed the brain. The brain's like, where's the freaking carbs? You're like, well, I'm not eating any carbs. Your body's like, but I don't know how to use ketones. What's it going to do? It's going to break down more muscle. And what organ does that? The adrenal glands. It's the fight or flight system. And your body's like, I want to freaking relax. I got to barf out adrenaline and cortisol to feed you because your ass is not eating anything. I'm exhausted, bro. You're just making me more tired. That's why. Hi, guys. I'm really hyper right now, so excuse my sarcasm. It's a little pedantic. Decaf coffee, they use benzyl chloride and it's cancer-causing chemical. No. Book is coming out. Yes, you guys, I'm writing the Ultimate Keto book, as you can see, with these shotgun questions. Today is packed. I got probably the most viewers I've gotten in this broadcast, and people are just slamming me with questions. Thank you for the compliments. You can train fasted once you're adapted. Yes, you can. Hypoglycemia comes from you guys getting up and having coffee and going to work. The brain's like, I need blood sugar, so I'm just going to go rape your muscles, right? And shoot up your blood sugar. But you already have insulin resistance. And then the blood sugar, the body's like, barf, too much insulin. Then the blood sugar shoots real low. And then the body's like, I'm going to go in a coma if we don't raise the blood sugar. So we got glucagon getting and gluconeogenesis, right, to get your blood sugar back up. And the more you do this, boom, 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 then things stop working. That's why. Richard says his blood sugar spikes 30 points if he overtrains. So he's testing his blood sugar. You guys may not like what I'm saying, but the glucometer don't lie. Sorry. Thank you, whoever said I'm the best coach you've ever seen. Because I'm not telling you guys what you hear. You're coming to my broad. Look, you guys. If I said join Stephanie's 30-day weight loss program and get the business, right? I'd be like, get the business and get lean at 50 years of age like this chick and get shredded. I would make so much money, and I'd be like, eat cheese and eat a lot of protein and have like a Stephanie program and I made it all flossy. I would be rich right now. But no, I'm telling you guys to get rid of your food addictions and food porn. I'm telling you to ramp down your workouts. Why would I do that? I don't have to do that. I got the business. Why would I go and do something that's so counterintuitive for me to make a hell of a lot of money? Because I don't lie. That's why. You should have found me a long time ago. You would have learned. But you found me now. So let's see here. 7 to 10 cups of veggies necessary on keto. It's not necessary, but if you have gut dysbiosis and if you don't get that prebiotic fiber up in your bunghole, it's constipation noise. No. Eat your cups of veggies. And Cruciferous, your daughter's 11. She says she's learned a lot about blood sugar from watching me follow you. Thank you. So I'll try not to swear. I'm not a expert at diaphragmatic breathing, but it's breathing from the diaphragm. I think it's 4 breaths and hold it in. But what I do is I just stop doing the shallow breathing and I take deep breaths from the diaphragm. That's diaphragmatic breathing. I think that it's just a toxin with the nicotine. I think it's just inflammatory. So yeah, it probably will spike your blood sugar. Or your, no, you don't drink food, you eat it. You're gonna confuse the body. You eat food. People stop trying to drink your food. Like there's a million things wrong with drinking your food. You break down the enzymes, it oxidizes quicker. The brain's like, I don't understand why you're drinking your broccoli. Like the brain's confused. Blood sugar spikes, no prebiotic fiber. No, no, no. Hi, guys. Hi. Yeah, you could diaphragmatic breathe between sets. It should actually happen naturally because if I'm lifting, I'm like, between sets. Probably a tablespoon is enough with Great Lakes because it's, powdered, hydrolyzed, broken down protein. Can you demonstrate diaphragmatic breathing? I just did. Gotta watch the replay. I'm not an expert at it. That's why I'm not going to go into a big, huge demonstration of it because I don't want to do the wrong thing. We got 130 people in the chat. Now 129. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Does that apply with Bulletproof? Bulletproof coffee is garbage. Another person who did the whole Jedi mind trick and lied to y'all to make money. Yo, if it seems too good to be true, it is. We're lied to, you guys. Question everything, including me. You fall asleep after you eat because you have probably insulin resistance, your blood sugar drops too low, you've got hypoglycemia, and all that kind of stuff. You need to drink some water. Keto for beginner. I think I just made a video on that. I'll go to my channel, which is Stephanie. Well, you're on my channel, darn it. Is 20% too high to set for protein? I don't know what you mean. No, it's 15% of 200 to 300 grams. Why is fat in coffee? Because because look, you guys, caffeine is an appetite suppressant, and so is fat. So if you put one appetite suppressant in another, then people are like, oh my God, I'm losing weight. So fabulous, so fabulous. I'm losing weight. Look at me. Don't I look slimmer? Oh my God. That's why. They're preying on your desperation to lose weight, and all it does is frack up your adrenals. It's absolute garbage. Get rid of it. Oh, you can't find keto strips. Well, you're going to have to journal everything then. Flossie. And I won't say, Flossie Posse. Yes, Flossie. Black tea is garbage. It's just caffeine, guys. Just drink water. What's wrong with people drinking water? What the H-E? What? People are like, what do I drink? Oh my God. There's nothing to drink on keto. Like, what? We are in the matrix, people. We want juices. We want our cheese. You know what I mean? People have a hard time just eating real food. Decaf coffee has very harmful chemicals that give you cancer and make you die, called benzoyl chloride. No decaffeinated coffee. Darn it, you addicts. Lemon water all day, as long as you don't have histamine intolerance, because people who've got histamine can't drink lemon water. So let's hope that you don't. Cheese has casein. Casein destroys the body. Autism, violent behavior, autoimmunity, gut problems, death. Okay? The cow's milk's supposed to be for the little baby calf to grow into a 2,000-pound bull. IGF-1 factor? Cancer? You know, sticking your mouth under a cow's nipple when it should be a baby calf? Like, you guys, it's not freaking quantum physics, yo. And butter has almost none of those proteins that damage the body. You ever heard of like the wheat gluten intolerant thing? Guess what? Milk also casein pokes hole in the gut lining. Boom! Autoimmunity. Hummus is chickpeas is straight up carbs, yo. That lectin crap out of here. Get the frack out of here. Okay, so low blood sugar. Okay, there's hyperglycemia, which is high blood sugar, and hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. Both are very damaging. When your blood sugar is too high, that means there's too much sugar circulating in the blood, damaging your cells. When there's too low blood sugar, the brain's like, I don't have energy. I think I'm going to go into a coma and pass out. Boom, that's why. Hummus is straight up carbs. This is keto. Okay? And chickpeas are lectins, and they destroy your immune system. Boom! You guys are supposed to be eating things in season. People are eating vegetables every day, out of season. They're not looking at the salicylates, oxalates, goitrogens, nightshades, like the saponins. They ain't looking at any of that stuff. They just cramming that stuff down their mouth. We are designed to live outside. If it's not correlating and going linear with what's natural outside, it's probably not good for you. Coconut milk with MCT oil, they're totally bad combinations. No. How about some water or a fatty tea with the leaves with some butter in it and a little bit of MCT oil? How about that? How about that? How to lower your LDL small particles. See, you don't want to lower your LDL because that will kill you. You need those low density lipoproteins. Mm-hmm. You need those big buoyant LDL proteins, lipoproteins. You mean small density. And that's by getting your ass to sleep. Deep REM states, all cycles throughout the night, and getting off them nasty carbohydrates and alcohol and stuff like that. Smoking cigarettes and whatnot. Keto for veganism doesn't work because the body likes monosaturates, and it loves MUFAs, PUFAs, and SFAs in the same fat structure as ourselves. How do I know? Because I've tried to get vegans into ketosis. I'm not guessing this, people. It didn't work. Top veggies are cruciferous, right? Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, asparagus, cabbage, the crunchy ones. And green, spinach and whatnot. Hummus has too many carbs, and it's high in plant chemicals. Your Fitbit is about 40% correct, so take it with a grain of salt. An hour a night is, and especially if it's only an hour a night, that's too little. REM. Fatty tea, cinnamon, tablespoon of butter, tablespoon of coconut oil, a little Himalayan salt, little, Ceylon cinnamon, boom, drink, boom. I love Paul Chek, and so he is so creepy and disgusting, but I love him at the same time. It's Paul Chek. He was the one that says all these freaking health practitioners and health people, he's like, everybody who's on YouTube should go shirtless, right? Let's see what you're working with. You friggin' hypocrites. That's what Paul Chek says. So he's done most of his videos without a shirt. And that's why I do most of mine with a workout top. You guys see that I'm not lying. I'm turning 50. Who would lie about getting older, yo? I'm turning 50. Around the corner. And I want to keep showing you guys that this is all natural. This is no HRTs. I'm not on any hormones. This is not genetics. This is me working my freaking ass up. Boom. Ouch. Yes. Maximum carbs while breastfeeding. You have to be ketotic. If you're not ketotic, you'd have to go off of keto. What about cheese if cows are grass-fed organic? No, cheese has casein. And what about the A1 cows? What about the IGF-1 factor? We got to look at all that stuff, you guys. It's not natural. Onions, unfortunately, when you cook them, they caramelize. They turn into little sugar things. Spike your blood sugar. It's pretty simple. Thank you. I'm looking younger because I'm just more happy. And I've worked really, really hard to live this life. And again, I'm really hyper and I'm silly right now. But if I really get myself into a more zen state, you guys, people don't know who I really am. You look at me on the internet, people don't understand. We all have insecurities, including myself. But I don't like my insecurities to run my sense of consciousness. I don't like the noise to affect my self-perception. And I love people and I love to love people, but it's really hard to love people when we become so sensitive and so triggering. We're so triggered. So, if I'm on a broadcast and I'm getting hit with these questions and I know where they're coming from. Why not the cheese? I know why people are saying why not the cheese. I know why people are asking for the decaf coffee. I know that mentality. And my mind is just like, oh, you guys, we're not getting to the core meaning of life. We're addicted. That's why I'm so sarcastic. No colostrum. Please, no. Please, no. No colostrum. You can drink anything, tea leaf, that's with no caffeine, and it's your choice. Yeah, there's a lot of things about Weston Price that I really like. I like his studies and traveling around and looking at the teeth of people in remote cultures where there's no roads and seeing what's happening to their teeth. We're supposed to have our wisdom teeth. You know what sugar does in one generation? Messes up the skull shape. People need glasses. This is what carbohydrates do, because in the wild, this is all the carbs that we can handle. Y'all asking about hummus? Y'all addicts? You're food addicts. One bite of hummus is all you can have. That's it. That's safe. You guys don't understand about how the pancreas works. People are talking about calories, Learn about your blood sugar. I have all my wisdom teeth, yes. Although, because I ate cereal, my bottom teeth crossed. I used to have perfect teeth, shaped teeth, and then because of my diet, they began to cross a little bit over time. Yes, I actually today was saying to a consultation that I had on Skype, no chia seeds, the lectins. And I said, I want to, because this person was like, I don't have time with my job to do a full workout. I said, I'm going to go and film a 12-minute workout with these, right? You guys know I've done a couple broadcasts with these bands. It's super simple. I'm going to show you guys real quick, right? So bicep curls, right? Here's double bi, right? Here's bicep curl. And sometimes I'll twist the wrist to peak the bicep. But I'm using bands, and I'll do 3-second negatives, right? And I might pump the last 3. I'm never going under 9 reps. I'm doing shoulder press. You guys have seen me do this 1,000 times. I'm going 3-second negatives, explosive on the positive, and then slow on the negative. I do this at the gym all the time. You guys follow me on Instagram. It's Stephanie Ketogenic. I do workouts all the time. If I'm doing lateral raises, I'm going slow on the negative. I'm going slow on the negative. Bruising on keto, you're malabsorptive. I'll do some tricep extensions, right? Or some tricep kickbacks with the bands. I'm showing you guys what you can do with the bands, okay? I can do back rows to the rib cage, right? I can do tricep pull downs if this is on a door, right? Do tricep pull downs. Boom. Looking at my own tricep. Not too bad for 50, right? Not too bad. My smart ass mouth. There's a lot you can do. I can do lat pull downs, straight arm for the lats, right? I can do reverse flies for the posterior delt. Yo, there's a lot you can do with these bands. Look, I just showed you right now. Cheese as casein, yeah, it's a protein that damages the gut lining, and it's contributing to a lot of inflammation in the body. We have a lot of health hiccups. Go to a shopping mall. Go to the airport. Tell me I'm wrong. People are not healthy. Their skin's jacked up. They're bloated. They got broken blood vessels around their nose. They got dark circles and bags. Their posture's crap. You know, I'm watching some people have nervous system. People got sciatica. I mean, it goes on and on. I gave an example for a fatty tea, so watch the replay. Fruit teas, careful, can spike your blood sugar. Test. Oh, you like my Insta? Thank you. Thanks. So my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook is Stephanie the Business, as in body, not business. Stephanie the Business Person. And my website, stephanieperson.com. And as you guys know, I'm writing the Ultimate Keto book, and I'm dispelling all these other books that keep coming out that is just really irking me to no end with crappy information. I'm not talking about these people personally. I'm just talking about the misinformation. Ooh, I'm the sexiest 50-year-old, right? Right? I'm kidding. I am proud, guys, to be 50, and most people don't like to say their age. And I'm always explaining to people that you can help your DNA. You can correct a lot of mistakes that you've done. Let's see, take valerian. Stop taking valerian, and I wouldn't be. Don't use too much valerian brute to get to sleep. You know, you need to learn how to de-stress at night and let it happen naturally. I'm okay with chamomile and the blue blockers, but be careful with the valerian root. Yes, I am. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments, guys. I do. And I know I come across as this, verbose, braggadocious person. I'm actually not. I live a very humble life, and I appreciate every second of every minute and every hour of every day. And I don't let a second go by without realizing that I'm very fortunate for everything that I have in life. Point, period. No matter how, opinionated I sound. Almond flour is garbage Too many carbs, phytates, lectins. Get rid of it. It's not keto. It's not ketotic. Fish oil supplements. Make sure they're of high quality. We drop the fish supplement in a glass of water. If it starts to degrade after, I don't know, 15 minutes, get rid of it because it's oxidized as shit. Macadamia nut butter. Careful. Just be careful. People on a budget doing keto, it's kind of easy, you know. Chicken with the skin and is always cheaper. Like if you want to do organic, like chicken drumsticks are cheap. They're so cheap because of the darker meat. Everybody's afraid to get fat on fat. If you live in the States, Trader Joe's or even Costco has bulk Kerrygold butter, so it's cheaper per pack. And things like spinach and greens aren't expensive, organic. They're really not. And pastured pork, the fattier bits. Anytime you get, besides like ribeye, but anytime you get fattier cuts of meat, it's always cheaper. Because turkey bacon doesn't have enough fat. That's why. Yep. For tall, skinny keto, but it's the same for everybody. People with cancer, people who are small with keto, it doesn't matter your height. Exogenous ketones are lies and bullshit and rob your money. Don't believe the hype. Just run. These are multi-level marketing companies. Fish, salmon, sardines, fattier meats. No, I mentioned mymedlabs.com for an organic acid test. That's what I've mentioned. For organic oat testing, organic acid testing, mymedlabs.com. That's what I've mentioned. Okay, guys, it's an hour and 16 minutes. Time for me to go. I appreciate you guys very much. Ratios of flax. I would do all flax, to be honest. Let me see, your skin looks better than when I was taking MLM vitamins. Good. I hope that was keto. Love you too. Love you guys. My book is coming out when I'm done writing it. It's you don't announce a date until you finish writing because they have to edit it and it goes back and forth a few times. So the publishing company is not going to announce a date until I complete the pages written and give it to them. And then it'll go back and forth. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Hi, Janet. I really didn't have any trolls so far. So thank you guys. The book's going to be good because I speak the people's language. I'm not going to make this confusing and I'm not going to lie to you with a bunch of crap. So you guys are like, buy Stephanie's book and get the business and get ripped on. I'm not doing that. Nope. Thank you, Brandon. Is it Neely? And Nelly, I think. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much back. Appreciate it. And Nashville. I'm going to Nashville in October, by the way. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Melly Mel. Best way to not become insulin resistant, you mean? Also, you guys, well, I'll be announcing it when I come to Nashville, so maybe I'll do something there. Maybe I'll do some consultations, or maybe I'll just do a meet and greet or something. I'm not sure. How can I highly adapt circadian rhythm and blah, blah, blah. So, I lived in Sweden. Just blackout windows, super simple. Right? You start putting yourself under low light in the summer, even though it's still light outside, you need to put yourself in a dark room. I did it when I went to Sweden. I did it 2 years in a row. You can go to bed when it's still light outside. No, I was invited to go to KetoCon, and I rejected the invitation because I felt some things were poorly organized. Boop! And I was like, I've been traveling for a year doing seminars. I feel at this point that I'm going to be invited to something. I think that it should have been a little bit more professional. There were some unprofessional actions that I don't care. You know, they need my social media anyway. You know, why am I invited? Because they need me to help promote an event. But if you have somebody come and help promote an event, make sure that they're, informed of. That's why I'm not going. I think it was a good call. You know, when you're trying to make a decision on to go and do something or not, sometimes when I'll make a decision, I'm like, oh, was that the right, like when I went to Australia, I was like, oh, what am I, 1 month, 4 cities, then turned to 3 cities. That's the reason why I became careful with KetoCon. That experience in Australia was a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. So going to KetoCon, I was like, no, I've got so many things I need to do, and that's not one of them. Not the way it was, not the way they communicated with me. Nope. Fenugreek, yes, as long as you don't react to it. I've got 15 people in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. Anybody who hasn't given me any thumb love. Why do people keep asking if I'm single? Oh, what does it say here? Do white and brown chicken have the same protein amount? No, white chicken has more protein. Brown chicken has more fat. Pretty black and white. I am so glad that you learned so much from me. You crave fruit all the time because your blood sugar is unstable. You're not keto adapting. You're doing things wrong. If you're craving the fructose because our fruit's been manipulated and it's Frankenstein fruit. If you're craving Frankenstein fruit, that means your brain's not getting enough glucose. I'm not going to go into full exercise because I'm making a series of books. I'll do a shortened version of some exercise tips, yes, in the book. Thank you, Erica! I don't know enough about tonic herbs to tell you. Skydiving, that'd be cool. Oh, that's a bucket list thing that I want to do. But you guys, I'm going to Iceland next month, so really excited about that. That's on my bucket list, is Iceland. Thank you, Joe. And I appreciate that you value the information. I will open up my consultation bookings next week. The thing is, I'll open it up for a month and it books in 1 week for the whole month. So people are like, I tried to go to your website and I couldn't book anything. And I'm like, it's not my fault. I'll open it up for new dates in a week. Fixing your falling asleep with a A1C of 5.6. That's a whole new, so I'll do it next time. Maybe I did a blood sugar thing last time and talked about A1C, I think. You booked your consultation several weeks ago. Flying squirrel. Is that Melly Mel? Stop. Mel, you're killing me. No turkey bacon. I mean, you can have it, but 9 times out of 10, the shite's cured. The protein count is too high, and doesn't have enough fat. But like on occasion, maybe. I didn't see when you see. I guess you're not gonna respond to my comment. Like, really, don't take things personal. I'm getting probably on average at one time 30 comments at once. So if you want me to answer something, you have to keep reposting it. And if I don't see it, no kombucha, that's it. Right now, there's probably about 50 people who are like, she didn't respond to my comment. It's impossible. So don't take it personal. Jeez. Peterson Bacon, yeah. You like my serious rants? Thank you. You're always tired when you do keto, KJO, because you're doing it wrong. I don't want anybody to contact me unless it's for business reasons, because I just can't be everybody's friend. Like, oh my God. I have like 300 people contacting me every day. So if you guys want, like, if you're trying to book a consultation, that's when you would go through the site. Actually, I had to write on my site only for like events and consultation questions or my keto course page, but not just, people just email me, hundreds of people. Just email me. Hey, my name is Linda. I'm, 42 years old. I'm 5'6". I weigh 190 pounds, blah, 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 blah. And literally it'll say, help me, exclamation point. And I'll be like, and then I'll open up my Facebook and I'll be DM'd 50, 60 times, same thing. So people keep forgetting I'm only one person. What are you freaked out by? What are you freaked out by, my last video? Don't be freaked out. Be freaked out, like, because of poverty, right? Incurable disease. Don't be freaked out because of a dumb video. I never eat beans. That stuff is nasty and nasty. Ew, beans. Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat them, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So eat them beans in every meal. That stuff is 1972. Bye-bye. What type of guys am I into? Yeah, Chris, you are persistent. Yeah. And it is guys, not girls. Sorry. I mean, girls as in like friend love. All right, people. My peoples, thank you so much, and I appreciate the broadcast. I already answered sauerkraut. I would watch the replay. And thank you, guys. I'm having like separation anxiety from my followers. I'm like tired now from the podcast. Organic organ meats. I mean, if it's pastured, yeah. No hormone. You're freaked out by rabies? Joe, what are you talking about? You're tripping. You're stuck on the beach with no phone. You cracked me up. So guys, time to go. Thank you. Thank you, Tess. Mike's like, just go so I can leave. Okay, guys, I'm out. Go to stephanieperson.com for more information, or the keto course, which is Stephanie KETOGENIC. And of course, I'm writing the ultimate keto book. And don't I sound like a used car salesman? Oh my God, so fabulous. Buy this car. Don't leave yet. Michael's like, don't leave yet. You can't ask questions when I'm about to go. You gotta wait for the next broadcast. It's getting late. It's 6. I've been here an hour and 26 minutes. I don't know how you guys watch the replay. I ain't sending you a kiss, honey chat. I don't know who you are. Sorry, Chris. It's like your profile is like that big. No. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Watch the replay. Only apple cider vinegar if you don't have histamine, because white vinegar and rice vinegar, crap. Thanks, Patrick. You need to start all over again. I agree. Go right. Okay, I'm going to go right. Organic acid test. It's a test to test your, like, you know, what's in your gut, your antioxidant, the amino acids in the brain. Hearts. Give me thumb love, you guys, before we go, if you haven't already. And I'm out. So watch the replay. Peace.